morning to you all. I'm Jamhuri. Excellency, it is with great pleasure and honor that I welcome you today to this significant event, which is really a gathering that not only unites us but symbolizes the convergence of our aspirations and the efforts and shared dreams of a thriving Kenya. Excellency, this wonderful event has been made possible by the kind and generous support from our sponsors, KCB, Konza Technopolis, GIZ, Vidu, among others, and we're very grateful for that. So in today's conversation, we're hoping to have a reflective moment where we think about where the State Department for Diaspora Affairs and our diaspora has come from, where we have gone, and what the future looks like. Your Excellency, it's exactly 12 months and 9 days ago since you gave us the authority by establishing the State Department for Diaspora Affairs to do this important work. This opportunity, sir, envisions a future where the diaspora's impact is not only financial, but most importantly, transformative. And I am proud to report, sir, that we have made important strides in fulfilling those promises. As far as protection of the rights and welfare of the diaspora, Excellency, together with other state agencies, we've been able to evacuate 1,350 Kenyans from distress situations, in human trafficking, in conflict, medical evacuations, and so on. And sir, just to mention that in some of these places where we've had conflict, Kenya has been the first country to get its citizens home during these conflicts. Excellency, under the promotion of continuous dialogue, we've held many conversations such as these. You probably don't see them with a lot of branding because a lot of them happen virtually because that is where our diaspora are. We are working on the incentive framework for diaspora remittances, sir, and very early on you gave me a target of shillings 1 trillion in remittances, which I am happy to report we are working very hard on. We have seen a 14.1% increase in our remittances in this year, and we expect to close in a strong position. Excellency, some of the things we've been able to do working with the CBK and others have been to launch, for example, the DAO CSD that now allows diasporians to buy treasury bills and bonds from an app or from a web platform. Excellency, as you're aware, you also gave us the very hard task of finding diaspora jobs for Kenyans, and together with the State Department for Labor and Skills and Social Protection and Skills and the entire ministry and other players, sir, we have embarked on the Global Labor Market Strategy. And sir, to thank you for creating the Diaspora Placement Agency that now targets our ability to really take up the fruit of our bilateral labor agreements and be able to find opportunities for Kenyans abroad. Excellency, as I conclude, and now that we have in this year, Your Excellency, stabilized the consular situation, we've been able to deal to a large extent to the crisis that we had in the Middle East among Kenyan labor. We've been able to deal with consular issues. Excellency, a year ago today, you gave me the task and you said, I don't want Kenyans to travel far and wide to be able to get their passports and IDs. In the last 12 months, sir, we've been able to serve Kenyans in 22 countries, taking the mobile consular services in about 100 different cities where services are to be found. And we've served people, sir, who've not seen us anywhere, including in Yemen, Your Excellency. Now, as we have stabilized and as we have built that very firm foundation, what is my dream? What is the dream of this ministry for the diaspora? Diasporians, I am inviting you to do 4 things. I am inviting you to invest back home. And this is what we are going to be speaking about today. I am inviting you to join us in the skills and technology transfer work that is critical, that we must do. What will you bring us from the places that you live and work and from all of the technologies and things that you have learned? We want you to partner with us to open up trade routes for Kenyan products and Kenyan services wherever you live. And finally, we want you to work hard to help us find opportunities for Kenyans abroad for jobs where you live and work. And on behalf of the State Department and the government, then we commit to work tirelessly and hard to ensure that all Kenyans abroad continue to be protected, to be engaged, to be empowered for our collective responsibility. Asanteni sana, merci beaucoup, vielen Dank, and all of the other languages that you speak when you are in your other homes. And thank you so much. Now, Your Excellency, this morning I would like to invite the Prime Cabinet Secretary to give some remarks. We've had a bit of a change in the program, sir. We can have the PCS give some quick remarks. We can have COG give some quick remarks. And then after that, sir, we've had some changes, and delegates, we've had some changes where the President has asked both to speak and to be a panelist in the first panel. So we are really looking forward to hearing that. Excellency Governor, karibu sana, asante.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Honorable William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Your Excellency, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Excellency Governors and Deputy Governors, Cabinet Secretaries, Chairs, Members and CEOs of Constitutional Commissions and Independent Offices, Principal Secretaries, Heads of Mission and Development Partners, Captains of Industry, the private sector, civil society and the media, our brothers and sisters from the diaspora, national and county government officials, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First and foremost, allow me to convey apologies of the chairperson of the Council of Governors, Her Excellency Anne Waiguru, who due to unavoidable circumstances could not join us this morning. It is therefore a great pleasure to represent the COG Chair and deliver her remarks as we engage in the Diaspora Investment Conference, whose theme is Tujenge Kenya, Bridging Borders, Building Futures. As a council, we take this early opportunity to thank the organizers of this event for having us in the discussion. Distinguished participants, the current Constitution of Kenya ushered in a devolved system of government. There was a lot of excitement as the county governments were inaugurated after the general elections of March 2013. True to the expectation, the county governments, slightly over 10 years now, have made a tremendous positive impact on the lives of Kenyans. Indeed, devolution has significantly contributed to our nation's journey towards unity and equitable growth and development. The Constitution assigns functions to the national government and to the county governments. Each level of government has a responsibility of implementing the functions assigned to it. A quick glance at the functions of county governments indicates a huge responsibility for the production and service sectors. These functions include crop and livestock production and fisheries, early childhood education and childcare facilities, cultural activities, public entertainment and public amenities, county planning and development, including housing, trade development and regulation, including local tourism and cooperatives, healthcare services, county roads, street lighting and public road transport, soil and water conservation and forestry, water and sanitation, solid waste management services. Implementation of these services and others, whose details we shall share with during the county government session on Friday, have been revolutionary. For example, before 2013, you had to visit the city of Nairobi or a major municipality in this country to experience the beauty of streetlights. Courtesy of county governments, streetlights are in all the counties, including the very small urban areas and centers. Since independence in 1963 and up to 2013, the central government did not employ a single teacher or early childhood education, that's nursery. And courtesy of county governments, there are more than 48,000 teachers of early childhood education and the payroll of county governments. For the first time since independence, Mandera County performed its first cesarean delivery at Takaba Sub-County Hospital in 2014. Esteemed guests, each of the 47 county governments has unique opportunities for investment. Our collective desire is that each county becomes an attractive investment hub. These hubs beckon both local and international investors, particularly our esteemed diaspora community, to partake in the increasing opportunities across various sectors. To catalyze this, county governments have put in place a couple of strategies aimed at attracting and retaining investments. This includes enacting policies and regulations that encourage the growth of specific industries and investing in critical infrastructure. Specifically, each of the county governments has identified at least 5 value chains that are visible for aggregation and high prospects for value addition and industrialization. County governments are therefore seeking partnership with you and your networks to accelerate the growth of counties as industrial hubs. Ladies and gentlemen, some of the investment areas where we see great potential for investment and therefore collaboration include in the agriculture and agribusiness. Our counties offer vast arable land and favorable climatic conditions for a wide range of crops. 2 manufacturing and industrial parks. Kenya is strategically positioned as a regional hub for manufacturing. Our counties are establishing county industrial parks, offering prime locations for the diaspora community to establish manufacturing plants. 3, renewable energy. The potential for renewable energy projects in Kenya is enormous. Our counties have significant solar and wind energy potential, making them ideal for investment in clean energy solutions. Our infrastructure development. Kenya's rapid urbanization requires substantial infrastructure development. Investment opportunities abound in the construction of roads, bridges, and other critical infrastructure projects. Healthcare and pharmaceuticals. The healthcare sector in Kenya presents a wide range of investment prospects. We can explore construction and management of modern medical facilities and manufacturing of pharmaceutical products. Tourism and hospitality. Kenya's rich biodiversity and breathtaking landscapes and culture make it a premier tourist destination. Counties offer investment opportunities in eco-lodges, hotels, desert drives, and related tourism services. ICT and technology. Kenya's technology sector is dynamic and growing. Counties are creating innovation hubs and technology parks. Housing and real estate. The increasing urban population creates a significant demand for housing and real estate. Collaborations in affordable housing and related infrastructure projects are ripe for investment. Finally, education and skills development. Investment opportunities in the education sector include establishing training institutions, vocational centers, and e-learning platforms to enhance the skills and knowledge of our workforce. Distinguished participants, the county governments want to collaborate with the diaspora community as active participants in the development journey of our counties and country. You are already doing a lot, and you can do even more. We look forward to structured dialogue between you and the Council of Governors and invite you to visit our counties. Do not hesitate to book a date with the Council of Governors to fast-track your engagement with your county of choice. As I conclude, I thank the organizers for spearheading the process, wish you fruitful deliberations, and extend a special invitation to you all to join us for the county government's session on Friday, 15th December, starting at 10:30 a.m. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Excellency Governor. Allow me now to invite the Prime Cabinet Secretary and the CES for the Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, Karibu sana, Waziri Mkuu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Njogu. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the Governor, Madam Kihika Kimani, Susan Kimani, the father was somebody I knew. Then my two principal secretaries and other principal secretaries present, Your Excellencies, ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Hamjambo. I will be very brief because Madam Njogu has spoken to the issues very well, and the President wants to have a one-to-one engagement, and I do not want to eat into that time. I want to try and shorten so that we can maximize on that interactive session. But I'll just highlight one or two things. One, it is so significant that this event is taking place here when we are celebrating 60 years of independence. That is a critical milestone. The message here is that the Kenyan diaspora has truly come of age, and it is therefore important that they take their rightful space in the development agenda of our country. A few days ago, I was in the UK, and I had an opportunity to interact with the diaspora there. They are raring to go. They want their footprint broadened. And therefore, this gathering here will give us that opportunity to enable that to happen. My request to you is that we need your help to also inform debate on the local scene. Your Excellency, let me just pick one example, something called privatization, because our diaspora is really exposed to a lot of models of privatization, of partnership between the public sector and the private sector. We want you to be part of this robust debate that is taking place in Kenya today. Because for us to make sense out of anything, it has to be an informed debate. And your exposure on certain aspects contributes significantly to this. I was, maybe 2 weeks ago, as we were at the COP event, led by His Excellency the President, one of the news items that was running was that the Saudi Investment Fund had taken up 12% shares in Heathrow Airport. The Saudi Investment Fund purchasing 12% of Heathrow Airport. Now, I bring this as a vivid example because as the Saudi invest 12% in Heathrow Airport, have they uprooted it from London and taken it to Riyadh? It still remains an asset in the United Kingdom, but they are part of the profit process. We need to get our people to understand that when we talk about broadening the space, it's to bring in capital, to bring in technology, to bring in resources that you may not be able to raise on the local front. Now, it's this kind of engagement that I'll be putting across to you as members of the diaspora to enrich that debate on the local scene so that the broader aspects of us drawing capital and bringing in FDI can be seen from a broader perspective. We were having a light moment with the president here, and somebody said, why are you selling KICC? The government talked about privatization. They did not talk about disposal of KICC. Two distinct things. What would be wrong if part of the diaspora fund was to become a fund that invests, the Kenyan diaspora fund becomes part of the partnership in actually commercializing the KICC operations, but it is also an investment that benefits you and benefits the people of Kenya. So these are some of the engagements that I would say that might be very, very useful as you converse, so that we help in enriching debate here and broadening exposure, so that people don't start imagining that the government of Kenya is on some kind of free-for-all disposal activity. That is not the case. Now, and therefore, as we talk about the other investment opportunities along, please think about these issues and figure out how you can perhaps help us in making sure that the understanding is deeper, better, broader, and therefore we can move faster. With these few remarks, it is now my honor and duty to invite His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, to address us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, PCS. Please, let's take our seats. Asanteni sana. Partners who have put this event together, Prime Cabinet Secretary and your team from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Issues, our members of the Diplomatic Corps who are here, and our diaspora, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Hamjambo. Karibuni sana nyumbani. For those of you, I'm told some of you came straight from the airport and to this meeting. Some of you came a little earlier. Karibuni sana nyumbani. Welcome home. And I hope you will be staying back for Christmas and maybe possibly New Year. But remember to go back to work. I am delighted to join you for this important Diaspora Investment Conference, where powerful conversations shall take place touching on the core of our bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Before I go further, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you, and in particular, Kenyans who have traveled from far and wide, from different continents, and using different means. And again, let me repeat, Karibuni Nyumbani. I'm also quite proud to witness the culmination of the government's commitment to our diaspora. And for the sake of clear context, I shall set out our commitment in a bit of detail. In our plan, we committed to create a dedicated State Department for Diaspora Affairs whose mandate would be to improve government service delivery, establish a diaspora forum, promote greater local investment by Kenyans living abroad, facilitate through intentional measures greater access to overseas employment opportunities for Kenyans, foster the transfer of knowledge, skills, technology, and technology through strategic engagement, promoting the welfare of Kenya's diaspora, and leveraging our diaspora to enhance Kenya's international profile. We have been committed to enrich our engagement with our brothers and sisters living and working abroad beyond the asymmetrical preoccupation with remittances. At any rate, the diaspora's contribution through remittances has overtaken the performance of our major exports and now constitute a major anchor of economic stability and driver of investments in our country. The State Department of Diaspora Affairs is the host of the first Kenyan Diaspora Investment Conference, whose agenda is dedicated to facilitating richer conversation, fostering greater understanding, and strengthening our partnership in investment promotion across various sectors of our economy. This event, therefore, eloquently testifies to the government's commitment in delivering its commitment to the diaspora. I am encouraged to note that during this conference, you are going to be engaged in robust deliberations on various dimensions of investment, from general experience to sectoral components like financial services, real estate, and strategic value chains like agriculture, manufacturing, healthcare, and of course, the new sphere of creative economy. I am glad to note further that this conference promises to facilitate rewarding engagements on such specialized investment areas as public-private partnerships, the fintech and startup ecosystems, and that the Kenya investment environment, which has now significantly upgraded its attractiveness proposition, as well as aspects of social welfare and social protection relevant to both you living in the diaspora and to your families living here in Kenya. As government, and by keeping the promise of bringing diaspora issues to the center of our policy, programs, and initiatives, I am happy when I see such events that seek to engage a section of our population that was for a long time sidelined on matters of national development and national discourse. However, for the diaspora to be involved in the socio-economic development back home, they have to be secure and flourishing in their host countries. As Government of Kenya, the security and safety of all citizens is our foremost commitment and most fundamental obligation, without which every other endeavor, including the conversation we are having here about investment, would not be possible. We shall continue to engage our diaspora across the globe with the objective of providing systems and structures to protect the rights and welfare of diaspora while mainstreaming their contribution to nation building in every sector of our economy. During my first engagement with the diaspora in December 2022, I committed to decentralize, automate, and digitize as many government services as we can so that the diaspora can access them online and do not have to spend hours or even whole days traveling to get consular service. I can confirm, as indeed my PS diaspora has, that we have expanded digital provision of public services to encompass 14,000 services, government services. And it is our commitment to ensure full digitization, which has not only enhanced efficiency and integrity in the provision of government services, but also improved revenue collection. Additionally, we have rolled out the mobile consular service exercise that has now covered 22 countries and served over 9,000 Kenyans abroad at the closest points to where they live. To connect our highly skilled and innovative human capital with employment opportunities, we have developed the global labor market strategy that will facilitate Kenyans, especially young people, find work abroad. Our objective in implementing all these measures to create safe migration pathways, friendly environment to work in the diaspora, and seamless networks that facilitate, promote, and support diaspora investments back home. The theme of today's conference, Tujenge Kenya, Bridging Borders, Building Futures, is a call to action, summoning us to make our contribution to the growth and development of our nation and to build bridges across all real and imaginary barriers, obstacles, and borders that stand in the way of our progress. This event, therefore, serves as a platform to strengthen the bond between Kenya and its diaspora, to forge partnerships that transcend borders, and to build futures that are prosperous and inclusive. As a country, we are entering the phase of economic transformation where opportunities abound in every sector, and we encourage you to seize your chance and reap a rich yield. You've heard from Susan, the governor of Nakuru, about the opportunities in our counties. They will have an opportunity to engage with you, I'm told, on Friday, so that you can explore the opportunities in various parts of Kenya, the richness of our nation, the diversity of our opportunities, and look at what each and every one of you can mobilize, either yourself, individually, collectively, or even working with other partners from where you currently work, to see how we can promote our country, because you are the foremost ambassadors of Kenya, wherever you are. I recognize, appreciate, and commend the Kenyan diaspora for its role in decolonizing, democratizing, and globalizing our economy. I encourage you to leave this conference with a strong resolve to do more and earn more from the opportunities that continue to unfold as we undertake the bottom-up transformation of our economy. Let us embark on this journey to build a nation that thrives on the collective efforts of its people, both at home and abroad. We are keen to work with you to harness your networks in order to channel more investments to Kenya and create opportunities to move this country forward. I wish you, good people, all the best as you engage us. And there are many agencies of government. There are many departments of government that will be having this conversation with you. The ministry has mobilized different actors in our economy so that they can directly answer some of your questions. They can directly canvass their positions with you so that you instead will be their agents wherever you are, because Kenya is the collective project of all of us. Whatever it is that each and every one of us can do from whatever position, whatever vantage that you have, should be for the greater good of our nation. We are a great nation. I am very confident about Kenya, and I'm very confident about the future. And I promise you that Kenya is going to change. This, our country. Take it from me. 10 years from today, people will come to Kenya and they will not recognize. We will have transformed this country in a very fundamental way. And it is going to take difficult, smart, decisions, and I promise you we are very well underway in making sure that we change our country. We have always, I promise you, all leaders in Kenya, they know what should be done. Everybody knows what should be done. But it never gets done. So this time around, we are going to be intentional, we are going to be deliberate, because we must do it. Yeah, we must do it. Let me give you an example. All of us, in the two main formations, we had identified housing as a very important program that will do 4 things for us. Number 1, it will make sure that millions of Kenyans who live in indignity, 7 million Kenyans, good people, live in slums in your country. Informal settlements, greatest indignity, no water, no road, no electricity, no toilet, you know. We have 1,410 slums in Kenya. It's not just Kibera. You know, whenever we talk about slums, people think it is Mukuru and Kibera and a few places. 1,410 countrywide. So we need to liberate our people from the indignity of living in slums, number 1. Number 2, we need to get Kenyans to own a home. And for them to do that, we have to have social housing, we have to have affordable housing. We have now reduced, we now will have a unit that will cost 400,000 with a tenant purchase of 3,000 shillings a month. And finally, a Kenyan will own a house. You know, we've made it look like owning a house is the privilege of the people who have means. We must make it, owning a house is a right for every citizen who lives in our country. Number 3, it is our opportunity to grow jobs. In just the last 8 months, we now have 120,000 Kenyans working in our housing program. In factories that manufacture cement, factories that manufacture steel, transporters of all the construction equipment, manufacturers of construction products, engineers, architects, plumbers, technicians, electricians, including laborers. That's a whole ecosystem of people working. These are people who would otherwise be jobless today. My intention is that we are going to double these numbers by March next year. We are going to triple them by end of next year. And in 5 years, we will have 500,000 Kenyans working, and the whole country will be a bustling construction site. And much more importantly, as you all know, the amount of land fragmentation that is going on in Kenya is alarming. We have whole counties like Vihiga and Kisii that if we don't do something about it, so shortly they will become rural slums. We need to reverse land fragmentation, and housing is the tool we have to reverse fragmentation and to give us an opportunity to save the land that we have for production of food and production of other items so that we can drive our food security initiatives, but also provide settlements and housing for our people. And finally, We will stimulate the whole ecosystem of manufacturing of construction products. Recently, I was giving a check of 140 million shillings to, you know, those fellows on Ngong Road. You know those fellows there making furniture there on Ngong Road. Those fellows nowadays are entrepreneurs. You know, wale watu mnaona tu ni watu jua kali. Siku hizi wako noma sana. You know, they are doing for us doors, they are doing for us windows. They are now a company for a housing plan. So this beautiful project was in the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza. The same housing project, complete with percentages of the levy, was also in the Azimio manifesto. But when it came to implementation, my friends, that is where the devil lives. Nobody wanted it implemented. Because we all want to talk about it. It is good. You know, we go tell the people, we are going to do this, we are going to do this. When hardly people mean it. I am telling you, this time round, I am implementing it. And I am so determined because we must do it. Korea did it, Singapore did it, Malaysia did it, and that is why they are ahead of us. We know what we must do, but we cannot gather the courage to do it. But this time round, whatever it takes, we are going to implement it. We will also give you guys a chance. You don't have now to harass yourself, or you are looking for cement, I don't know, you are looking for steel, I don't know, you are looking for stones to go and build a house. Just log into Boma Yangu. I think it is 832 was Boma Yangu. Hinga will come and brief you, my PS for housing. You will choose for yourself the house you want. It is the responsibility of the government of Kenya to deliver that house to you. Kazi yako ni kulipa tu whatever it is that you need. You don't need to know me, you don't need to know Hinga, you don't need your relative, you don't need your friends, because you know what they do in most cases. So we will save you the trouble. So this, I've just given you an example of why we must change Kenya. Yeah? And I promise you that we're going to move this country in the right direction. We will make the difficult decisions, we will make the smart decisions, because we owe no less to the people we told that this was going to happen. We are also going to save public money. We are spending billions of shillings sustaining companies. We have 350 public companies, public entities, yeah, that just take money from the budget. We are supporting them. Billions of shillings. Some of them you ask, what is this one doing? Nobody can tell you what the hell it is doing. But we are putting in 100 million, 200 million, 500 million every year. So some of those things, we are going to make a decision. And by the way, very interesting. A report was already done. A whole report saying these companies, about 150, should be removed. What they are doing can be done by the private sector. In fact, sell some of these companies to the private sector. The private sector will give us more value out of them. Yeah? Some of them divest. But the report has been here now 10 years. Because it's a very difficult decision to make. but I will make the decision. I promise you. I will make the decision and take the consequences. Because Kenya must move. Ama namna gani? Yes, if we know what the right thing is, my friends, you can never go wrong by doing the right thing. How can you go wrong by doing the right thing? So we are going to make those decisions because, and I am talking to you as members of our diaspora, because we must change Kenya. I don't want to talk about taxes because you guys, I know, you know how much you pay. Munajua. Sindio? So, and you see, sovereignty is managing our own affairs. And, but we are going to work this journey together. And by the way, the Kenyan people are very wonderful people. They can see logic, they can see sense where there is sense. When somebody tried to say we should get rid of the housing fund, many people stepped forward and said, look, for the first time, we have jobs. For the first time, we can feed our families. For the first time, we have an opportunity to own a house, an opportunity we have never had. Because the cheapest house in town was like 2-3 million. We have now brought it from 2-3 million to 500,000. That is the difference we are making. Democratizing the owning of homes. So you're going to have a great investment conference. I will be here shortly because I have another assignment, but I really wish you the very best. And I look forward to another engagement, maybe next year when we come and see how we can take this forward. Asanteni sana, my very best wishes, Merry Christmas, Happy Wonderful New Year, and I wish you well.
Panelists. Don't miss out on this year's festive season offers from Royal Mabati on stone-coated shingles at 750 Kenyan shillings, Roman tile, alloy zinc, box profile and trusses from as low as 270 Kenyan shillings. Call us today on 0722 638383 to place your order.